Wonder if there's a song for that. Setting my hair on fire, right? Hey guys, well, you guys asked for it, you got it. Y'all all wanted to see how to rebel can. Okay, you don't need all that expensive stuff. Can literally do it from here. And I'm gonna bust a move as soon as Rock can bring the music up. Because you know I always start with the song, copyright or not, I don't care. Can you turn it up? Dick, stop. Hold on, guys. Stop. I can't really hear it, and nobody else can. Looks like I'm dancing like a derelict. Guys, I'm going to get a strike no matter what. Let me share the screen so y'all can hear it. Well, start that back to the beginning so I can hear it to dance to it, and I'll mute my mic. How's that? Can you do that? Okay. Dick's kind of my sound man right now, so hold on. Okay, you're gonna have to restart it. I'm not ready yet, Dick. Oh, and I'm gonna have to mute my mic so you guys
keep my hands on myself. To keep my hands on myself. Pick up dust them off, put them back up on the shelf. Kiss my little baby girl isn't me. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Got another mouth to feed. Even with the babysitter, mama call a grave digger. Gone with the falling leaves. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might have had your fill, but feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now. Feel it still. We could fight a war for peace. Give in to that easy living. Goodbye to my hopes and dreams. Stop flipping for my enemies. We could wait until the walls come down. It's time to give a little to the kids in the middle. Oh, till it falls. Won't bother me. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks. Yeah, your lovers and a bitch for my heart to eclipse now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Might have had your fill, but I feel it still.
Song ended a little sooner on here. I still got that issue with my speaker. So I used to be able to have my speaker go and my mic, but it won't. In any event, you know what? Marfukel is known for doing all his original stuff. Kudos to him. And guys, at 57, I'm still rocking, right? I'd still bust a move. In any event, by popular demand, you guys wanted to know how to rebel can. And most people back in the 1800s, they didn't have pressure cookers. Didn't have any of that stuff, right? Oh, don't mind the kitchen. We're remodeling. But anyway, yeah, so they didn't have all the newfangled stuff. I want to show you just a simple $20 tool. And this is called a water bath. Right, you could pick these up, maybe 20 bucks. We have an electric canner. I have one for the stove. But I don't want to show you all that stuff. There's all those videos on the internet. And here's what comes. And just a bather can. See, they got this little rack. And the reason for the rack is so your jars don't chatter. If your jars chatter, then what ends up happening is they can fracture. And of course they can break. So you don't want that. But when you're doing rebel canning, I'll show you how to fix that. So I made some chicken noodle soup the other day, right? I heated it up and we're only going to do like 4 jars because really, I mean, we don't need to go 3 to 4 hours because blah, blah, blah. However, I did sterilize my jars. To sterilize your jars, what you need to do, wash them, right? Take the lids off, unscrew them, take the lids off, and wash them. And then you want to put them, let's see, how did I do this? Then you want to put them in just a regular pot. You know, like a pot you would use to make your pasta sauce or pasta, right? So this is already heated up. It's already been to a boil. I turned it down because I sterilized my jars already. It takes about 15 minutes boiling to sterilize your jars. So these are already sterilized. You guys know I'm long-winded, right? I can just go on and on. But while we're waiting for the jars to seal, I'm going to throw a little news in there. You know why? I'm a news junkie. So let's get started. So you already know that my jars. This, I don't know, maybe this is $3 at Walmart. Whenever I buy a case of jars, usually, where'd it go? Usually I buy 2 extra things of the flat lids. You don't need, now we're going to put, most of the time you don't need the rings. But they're always good to have around, right? Some people, when they're canning, they take the rings off. Personally, me, because I do the naughty thing and I stack the jars, I leave the rings on as a special buffer. And usually, when you're home canning, the FDA says usually stuff isn't good after a year. But if you're like me and you look at the sell-by dates on stuff, you open it up and you sniff it. If it looks funky, toss it. So I'm going to put this back on a boil. And I think these are done. Now, I did pre-make I did pre-make my chicken soup, but I also warmed it up again. Now, if you're doing like chicken or meat, usually the canning time is a lot more. Like you can, can raw chicken. So it usually takes about 70 minutes. The way I'm doing it, it's only going to take about 30 minutes. Of course, I'm using hot soup. Here's my ladle. So here's my hot soup. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look good? Oof. I got carrots and celery. Yum, yum, yum. So anyway, I did heat that up. I threw some extra noodles. Those noodles don't have to be cooked all the way when you're jarring. So a lot of times, hey, I've even jarred, okay, not this way, but chicken pot pie. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll throw it in a jar and I'll can it. You can can milk, which would be good for a year. You can can butter. Oh, and speaking about butter, if y'all want to see me make butter, put one in the chat room or leave one in the comments, right? So we'll do some butter. And if shit hits the fan, I figure the one thing people are really going to miss is butter. A lot of people know how to make homemade bread, but they don't know how to make butter. So I have wonderful books that I got to make cheese, butter. So if you guys are kind of like curious or you'd like to learn, just throw a one in the chat room and let's get the cannon. This came to a boil. So I don't know how good you guys can see me, but it's not about me. Not this time, right? I'm not that shallow. It's about the canning ritual. So like I said, one thing of jars, get 2 of these. Sometimes they're only $2.69 and there's 10 in here. Oh, 12. My bad. But I don't need those because we just, these are brand new out of the can. Well, out of the case. So these are only 1 pint jars. Let me see. Oh, look what Drop made. These are breakfast burritos made Chinese style, right? He had the Chinese wraps. Oh, I can't wait to have one. But I'm going to have to move them so y'all can actually watch the whole process. You should be able to see this. So here's the soup. This is a wonderful thing. This doesn't slop up the rim of your jar because it's going to be very, very important to keep this rim clean for the seal. And before I start it, this is the wax part. See the lids in there? I'm going to bring them to a boil, maybe 10 minutes, because it gets that waxy part. Let me pull one out. It gets it really pliable. See that little red ring, right? So you want to get that a little gummy so it seals. So I just got that on the back burner. Because honestly, I've been doing stuff for about an hour so far. I had to kick Drop out of the kitchen while he was making these beautiful breakfast burritos. Maybe he'll share his recipe. I doubt it. He's a get out. Anyway, back to canning. So, this, you're just going to load that up, right? You want your fluids, I don't care how you're canning, you want to leave about 1 inch to the top of the jar. Oops, I got a little much in there. So you want to leave like 1 inch. I'll put a little more fluid in there. And about 1 inch is right to that edge right there. Ow, this is flipping hot. Anyway, so then we're going to go on to the next can. And seeing how I've already got my hot hand. And this is usually a pint. Really, I think it's plenty for one person, probably a bowl. I have quart jars, but because I'm rebel canning today, the quart jars, I would only be able to do like two. This I may be able to fit four in there. And how I learned to do this, I've been canning for a couple years, is I was out in Florida and my roommate had an extensive garden. And oh my goodness, did that man have cucumbers? There were so many cucumbers. I swear I must have canned at least 60 jars of pickles. I made dill and I made the dill and I made the bread and butter, which I have recipes. And if you guys are interested in that, just put bread and butter one for yes. Obviously, I don't want to take no for an answer, right? No, but if you guys are really interested in doing some of this, if you have a backyard garden, I mean, these are things that I find relatively important. And while we're waiting for this stuff to seal and cook, well, it doesn't really cook. While we're waiting for this to go, it takes about 30 minutes. That's all I do it for. Seal's always been great. But I want to bring some stuff up about the Pope so we can just chit chat while we're waiting for this. But I got lots of good ideas. Or I can take you out in the garden. We've got a sunflower, one of the mammoth that is turned to seed. So we could probably do both. Drop will go out. He'll show you that flower. We'll cut it and throw it in a bin. And I'll show you how easy. And that's good for next year's crop. And there's so many benefits to sunflower seeds, right? So we're going to have more seeds. We ain't going to have to buy any more of those ever again. Because when you grow a garden, you have to you got to save your seeds. And, but here we go, right? So this is still over here, and I'm going to show you a little trick. I just wet a paper towel. Get a little bit wet. I don't use any detergent or anything. But what you want to do is wipe the rim of your jars. Now, this thing pretty much makes sure that you don't slop it up. But from time to time, you can get a little, see that little noodle get down there. So you want to wipe that really, really good. You don't want any of that stuff on there, because it'll mess up your seal. And it's really important that your lids seal. So, let me bring this little pot over here. And let me move. I got a lot more canning to do. Look at all this chicken soup. I'm going to be canning all day. And the only reason I'm doing 4, probably in the canner bath, I could probably do 6 to 8. However, it's rebel canning. So you're using whatever it is that you have in your kitchen, right? You don't need a $150 canning machine or a pressure cooker. You didn't have that 100 years ago. So I wiped the lids, the rims of my jars. Everything is, I got about 1 inch to the top. You want that because this stuff is going to boil. And naturally, these little lids, they're hot. I boiled them. And you just, you don't have to pound them on. You set them on, just like that, see? So, anybody can can. The one thing, there's certain things that don't can well, like zucchini and squash. We have so many zucchini and squash. Our dehydrator has been going for weeks. We actually had to take some up to the community center and donate them, because they give out food. I don't know if it's every other week or once a week. Any event, so my lids that are now a little gooey, not gooey, like if you stick your finger on it, you're not going to get burned gooey, but hold on. So then, going to bring the rings over. When you put your rings on, just like regular cannon, really only finger tight. That's all. You don't have to take pliers and all that. You do have to make sure that they're on correctly, because you're looking for that seal. Now, this is just a dish towel. The main thing, like even with your water baths, okay, they give you that little rack so your jars don't bob up and down and fracture. So when you're rebel canning, just an old dish towel, that's all. Watch this. Whoop, there it goes. You push it down into the bottom. You want enough water in your pan to cover the jar tops 1 inch. So, this little magnificent thing here, it picks those jars up. So, I'm going to go ahead and put jar number 1 in. Yes, that little thing's going to float up. Trust me, once you get your cans in there, that towel's going to be right under it. So this pot is going to hold 4 jars. I probably could have did 5. You want the water to be 1 inch over the jars. I could actually use a little more water. You want to take it to a boil. Uh-oh. I think my towel got a little rippled in here. So we're going to let this boil 30 minutes, right? And you don't want it to splash in your face, just like it did for me. Yeah. So it's about 1 inch over the lids, and it's going to boil for 30 minutes. It's 11:32, so at 12:02, we'll come back and we'll take them out. And the real sealing happens when you're cooling. As your stuff comes to room temperature and, stops being really hot, that jar will magically seal. You don't have to do anything, right? So I thought that was really cool. And thank you, everyone, for coming, right? Folk, I see you, Peggy, Watchman. So now it's your choice. I'm pretty sure I could probably take the laptop probably to the back deck, and y'all can probably see Drop pick that sunflower. Drop, do you want to do that, or should I go into the Pope? It's your choice. Want to do it?
Yeah, but I just wanted to let you know that Queen died.
Oh.
Just passed away.
Oh, by the way, for y'all out there in England, I just got news that the Queen passed away. Okay. I don't really think she was the real Queen anyway. And sometimes you got to think, like, Why aren't these people gone? I mean, what are they eating? What was she, like 100 years old or something? She was really old. So I don't know who they're going to put in next because I don't know much about the queen. Drop, do you want to do the sunflower? Huh? Oh, okay. No, I'm not done yet because I got about 30 minutes. I'm going to take this stuff out. Anyway, give me 1 second. I'm going to go take a couple puffs of the cigarette. So you just watch this boil, and if anything happens, just let me know. Hi, Tuna. Yeah, right. Tuna, don't you start singing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. Right? Death is never a good thing, but maybe she'll find her peace. Pretty sure she's done some unholy things. Which, you know what? I got a good title for the end of the song. Or the end of the show, right? A really good song for it. But y'all just watch this. I'm only going to take 3 drags. I can't smoke in the house. And that's okay, too. I smoke less now. So I'll be right back, guys. Just hang on. Here's some intermission music. I hope you can hear it from out there. Right on. Hope you guys can hear that. It's called Holy Water by Michael Ray. Thank God this isn't a gas stove. You know why? Poof, it's happened. That's a good tune. How many of y'all think that that queen was making some holy water, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. However, geez, I can't see the keyboard from here. I got the tripod up, right? I want to go over some very important things while we're waiting. We still got 42 minutes, right? So let me share the screen. Stop screen. Okay. So I think this is relatively important because I know a lot of channels really can't say a whole lot, and some of us talk in code. But see, my channel's not monetized. Hi, Team Angel. And hi, Able-Bodied. My channel's not monetized. And I would have lost this channel a long time ago. See, I play music. I'm not as good as Mark Fugel to make my own stuff. But maybe he'll let me borrow some. I don't know. It's original. Any event, I used to be a DJ. So that's why I always, and I'm always getting copyrights. You know, one time I actually, on Christmas, I played Christmas music and sang along. They banned me worldwide. I'll see if I was monetized. I had lost this channel a long time ago. And simply, I'm not here to make money. I'm just not. And yeah, I don't even get suspended for it. You know what I get suspended for? Talking about medical stuff. You know what I mean? Fucking the system. Talking about elections. That's when they just steal my stuff right from my channel. I think they might give me like a day or two to download it, but I've had lots of videos removed. Oh, Abel, I did old time rock. I used to DJ in one of them seedy little dance bars, and I used to do the old rock, classic rock. It was pretty much a biker bar, and I used to bartend as well. And then I had to work in this other bar where I had to play rap music. I didn't like that so much. Never did care for rap music. It's just, I think it stirs the pot. It, different frequencies and tones have a lot to do mentally with the way you feel. Like there's certain music that, I don't know if you've ever heard it. It makes you angry. There are certain music like they used to do in the 70s. It made you sad. And then there was, I don't know, like Staying Alive from the Bee Gees. And that made you happy and you wanted to dance. So music plays a very big part in controlling masses. So if you're going to listen to all rap music and it's going to go, yo, mopo, kill it, slap that hoe, then I think mentally between the tones and the frequency, it puts you in a different place. But that's just my thought. I mean, yeah, I could find the evidence. Yeah. But I very rarely listen to music now. Sometimes if I get a little two sheets to the wind, I'll be out in the garden dancing. But I pretty much stay away from music now. But I do like to play some really cool songs that, might relate to my video. Like today, said about the rebel. And I'm rebel canning, right? So, hey, shut it off. Stop. No, stop. That's the end. Top is trying to be my sound man because the speaker issue. I think I'm going to have to get a new laptop. This one's really old. 4 or 5 years old now. This thing's been dropped, flipped over by the cats. There's chips in it, cracks in it. And I think the memory is getting full because I'd take 2 years worth of my stuff off of YouTube because they just kept going back to my old stuff and suspending me. So I was like, okay, we're going to do cool stuff like canning. I'll show you how to harvest seeds. If y'all want to watch me make soap, I don't know if I'll be doing that Saturday. I had to reorder. I just had to put out some money, but I do have an order for 150 bars of Grumpy Monkey soap. So, and of course, I'm going to have soap listed back on my site. I don't know, maybe Drop will give you guys the link. There's nothing listed now. I've been in transition. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. I've actually went all the way across the country and now reside in Washington State. It's not so bad here. It's not so crazy. It's a small country town, maybe 400 people. So what Drop started doing is a lot of the stuff he grows in his garden, he saves those seeds. So when crap hits the fan, guess what? We're going to make nice with all the neighbors, besides being a prepper, right? So we can at least give people seeds. There's lots of land. We could grow a huge garden. We do want to like go out to Arkansas, but the market kind of fell. And the real estate agent was like, yeah, well, the market's not good right now, right? She don't even want to list it. So that's okay too, because it's not a bad place to hang out while shit hits the fan. But let's go over to I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to show you what the Pope actually said. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So this was his speech, remembering World War II, right? And this is kind of important. Let me mute me because I don't know. I shouldn't talk over it. It's less than 2 minutes. But guys, I think this is really important for things to come. I might have to call into Marfugel, and I haven't called into Marfugel in a while, but I would like to discuss this. He's got a bigger following, and it's not for the notoriety. You watch me, you don't, it's okay. Sometimes I just babble, and that's okay too. That's me. Anyway, check out his speech, and then after this speech, like within a week, he did the next thing. And this is why I'm saying buckle up, buttercups. You know why? I think hard times are to come, and I'm going to prove it. So, okay, which one is it? Okay, here's the speech. Let's do it.
Pope Francis spoke about the ongoing conflict in his Easter Sunday message from St. Peter's Square. He expressed his anguish over the war and hope that peace can prevail. Chris Van Cleve reports from London.
In clear discomfort from a lingering knee problem, Pope Francis slowly made his way to the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica to deliver his traditional Easter speech, urging the world's leaders to strive for peace. The 85-year-old pontiff described this as an Easter of war, condemning the violence in Ukraine, calling it cruel and senseless, implicitly criticizing Russia, a message clearly resonating with the crowd of tens of thousands. We have seen all too much blood, all too much violence. In what is being interpreted as a reference to the threat of nuclear war, Francis quoted from a 1955 manifesto by philosopher Bertrand Russell and physicist Albert Einstein that warns of putting an end to the human race unless mankind renounces war. To hear this stark warning, the faithful returned for the first Easter weekend since the pandemic. After 2 years of an empty St. Peter's Square, the crowd flooded into the street beyond the square to listen and once again see Pope Francis up close. But the Vatican is facing criticism for its traditional Good Friday procession at Rome's Colosseum, which included both a Ukrainian and Russian crossbearer. For CBS Mornings, I'm Chris Van Cleve.
Señora Gobernadora General, señor Primer Ministro, queridos pueblos indígenas de Masapsis y de
Holy Father speaking in Spanish. Madam Governor General, Mr. Prime Minister, dear Indigenous peoples of Musqueam and of this land of Canada,
Gosh, I surely hope that was the video that he was saying, tomorrow we will remember World War II. And when we look back, today we'll remember World War III. Now, Old Drop and I, we've been telling people for some time, we're in WW3, right? Before that, we were saying they're choosing sides. So that kind of confirms the only person with any authority actually mentioned that we're going to look back to today for World War III. Okay, and then shortly thereafter, here's an article that I'll read to you that, let me see. Let's just exit. Well, I'm not going to exit out. Whether, I'm not exactly sure it said the April address, but it surfaced like recently. But here's what he did just last week, guys. Right? Oh, thank God this ain't a gas stove. You keep popping up. Get down there. Any event, let me throw some more water in there. You want to keep that stuff 1 inch over. But so here is something else I'm going to put together for you. And this is why I want to show you how to do seeding, make butter, make soap. So in the comment section below, tell me what you would like to see me do. Now, I've made butter once, but I had heavy whipping cream. The recipe don't call for that. But I have a book. I can show you how to make mozzarella cheese. I can show you how to make all that stuff, right? Because I think it's going to be a bumpy ride. But here we go. Here's the other. This is an article. And this came out about a week. So I don't think there's any share audio. I got to read it. I'm not muted. I'm doing good. So, Pope Francis instructs Vatican entities to move all funds to the Vatican Bank by September 30th. Does anybody remember the October surprise? Now, Drop and I were saying Russia, being in Ukraine, was going to kick off China supposedly reclaiming their entity in Taiwan. So I think this is the October surprise. So Pope Francis has ordered that the Holy See and connected entities move all financial assets to the Institute for Works of Religion, commonly known as the Vatican Bank. The Pope's rescript issued August 23rd clarifies the interpretation of paragraph in the new constitution of the Roman Curia. What is that? Predicate Evangelium what is that? Promulgated in March. According to Francis' rescript, financial and liquid assets held in banks other than the IOR must be moved to the Vatican Bank within 30 days of September 1st. So, actually, I heard September 30th, but if it's October 1st, well, there you go. Now you have to ask yourself, guys, why would the Vatican be calling all that stuff back? See, let's go ahead. The IOR, based in Vatican City, has 110 employees and 14,519 clients as of 2021. It looked after 5.2 billion euros. That's 5.6 billion in American money of client assets. Though commonly called a bank, the IRA is technically a financial institute with no branches, working within Vatican City. State to provide services to clients, which include the Holy See and connected entities, religious orders, clergy, Catholic institutions, and Holy See employees. The IOR saw its number of clients decline by 472 from 14,991 clients at the end of 2020 to 14,519 in 2021. Isn't that funny? All the churches were closed. Oops! Nearly half of its clients in 2019 were religious orders. According to its annual report, the financial institution's 19 million net profit in 2021 was also down from 44 million in 2020 and 46 million in 2019. Oh, did you feel that, Pope? Yes. I don't even know if my church that I attended is open yet. I think they said they might reopen in 2023. In his August 23rd rescript, Pope Francis said Article 219, paragraph 3 of the predicate Evangelium must be interpreted to mean that the activity of asset manager and custodian of the movable patrimony of the Holy See and of the institutions connected with the Holy See is the exclusive responsibility of the Institute for Works of Religion. It just sounds like a bunch of blah, blah, blah. The decree will force Holy See institutions, including the Secretariat of State, to move their financial assets to the IOR, to have had accounts in Swiss financial institutions. Oh, wait a minute. Who takes care of the Swiss bank? Was it Schwab? I don't know. Anyway, including credits through which the controversial London building investment was initially carried out. Article 219, paragraph 3 of the new Curial. Notice they made a new Curial constitution. Hey, you know what? That Vatican, no, it's its own little city, right? So I guess they can write the Constitution as it goes, because it says new, right? The execution of the financial transactions referred to in SS 1 and 2 is carried out through the Institution for Works of Religion, the IOR. The financial transactions described in paragraph 1 and 2 of Article 219 are the administration and management of the Holy See's real estate and movable assets, and entities entrusting their assets to the Holy See. Still recited here. Click the link for original source of this article. Arthur Daniel M. let me, I'm going to grab that link. Well, I'll go back and put it in the description if y'all want to go back and actually read it again. We can do that. So this seemed a little important to me, guys. You know why? I don't know the date. September 30th, November 1st.
Half of them fell out. Didn't
I know.
get to it in time.
Hey, look what Top just brought me. This is one of those mammoth sunflowers. It's a what?
Black seed sunflower.
Black seed sunflower mammoth. So we'll do this after I'm done with a little bit of news. It was real windy yesterday, and this thing's been dried. And he's like, you know what? We need to do that. So some of them fell out. But in any event, the date kind of struck me as odd.
It's about a foot wide.
Oh, that sunflower is about a foot wide. And you know, that looming October surprise just keeps going in my head. And Drop even said, if China was to take Taiwan, that it would be October or April. Y'all know me. I come to most of your shows. So, you know, you've been hearing me tell about it. And I want to go back into history, and I'm going to read something else to you. And then we're going to take these things out. It's actually 12 o'clock. We got 2 more minutes. So I just shut it off. It'll be fine. So here's another article. And this is way back from World War II, right? So if you guys think, Pheebs has flipped her cork, I want to prove my theory. I want to prove Drops and my prediction. So let us go over to here. So, oh, there's no audio. Okay. So this is, you know, even though I didn't have a lot of connection to the internet, I still dive deep. I just, I'll be willing to lose my channel for the right thing. And just in case I do, look for me on Murphy's Law 7.77, right? So, but here we go. Here's another article. And Drop and I both looked this up today, right? I was like, Drop, this don't seem right. So I was looking up the Vatican called back the gold and artwork in World War II, which, trust me, well, he uses a different browser than me. So, but I was able to find this. Okay. Newly unsealed Vatican archives lay out evidence of Pope Pius, is it Pius? The Seventh's knowledge of the Holocaust. The Catholic Church's actions during World War II have long been a matter of historical debate. Pope Pius VII led the Catholic Church during the tumult of World War II, but his silence of the fate of the millions of Jews killed during the Holocaust has clouded his legacy with controversy. To critics, the pontiff's refusal to publicly, I can't say that word, condemn the Nazis represents a shameful moral failing with devastating consequences. In his polarizing 1999 biography of Pius, British journalist John Cornwell argued that the religious leader placed the papacy supremacy above the plight of Europe's Jews, winning a modicum of power and protection from the rising threat of communism by becoming Hitler's pope and pawn. Supporters, however, say that Pius' silence was calculated to prevent German retaliation and ensure the continued success of the Catholic Church's behind-the-scenes effort to aid victims of Nazi persecution. Documentation related to the Pope's wartime activities has long been housed in the Vatican archives, which remain largely closed to researchers until early this year. Now historians examining newly opened files from the vast collection say they found evidence detailed in German weekly Die Zeit that suggests Pius learned of the mass slaughter of Jews in the fall of 1942. The papers also indicate that, on the advice of an advisor who dismissed the reports as exaggerated, the pontiff told the United States government that the Vatican was unable to confirm news of Nazi crimes. Interest in Pius' actions spiked in 1963 following the premiere of a German play that portrayed the Pope as indifferent to European Jews' suffering. In response to the outcry sparked by the drama, the Vatican published an 11-volume collection of the pontiff's wartime documents. The papers published between 1965 and 1981 were criticized as selective and insufficient, according to the New York Times. Who is that? Elisabetta Povolado. I don't know who that guy is. Anyway, a crucial moment in Pius' relationship with the Nazis arrived in 1933 when then Cardinal spearheaded an agreement between the German Holy See and the Third Reich. As Robert A. Craig wrote in Jesuit publication American Magazine in 2003, this is so-called concordat was ambiguous in its day, with Adolf Hitler treating it as a sign of international approval of Nazi regime and the Vatican simply stating that it was made to protect the church's interests. Now, guys, if that's the Pope, imagine what a country would do. Just saying. Adopting stance of the official neutrality, the Vatican refused to yield to Allied pressure to speak out against the Nazis. And since everyone wanted to claim the Pope was on their side, political leaders weren't going to publicly chastise him or accuse him of cozying up to fascists or Nazis. So you know what? When Americans want to call another American Nazi, the real Nazis went out and killed the Jews. Me personally, I don't know. Besides, killing a dying sunflower, I don't think I fall into that category. Say what you will. Oh my God, this smells so good. Back to reading. David I. Kurtzer, author of The Pope and the Mussolini, The Secret History of Pius VI and the Rise of Fascism in Europe, told Times' Olivia B. Waxman in 2019. The Religion News Service, Tom Hennigan, historian Hubert Wolff of the University of Munster, and a team of German academics traveled to Rome for the archives. Historic unraveling in early March, Wolff's team was only able to conduct research for a week. My jars are already sealing, guys. I'm hearing them go pop. That's how you know they're sealed. For a week before COVID-19. Oh, yeah. The COVID-19 shuttered the archives. In that short time span, the scholars discovered a host of documents that, in Hennigan's words, do not look good for Pius or the Catholic Church. On September 18, 1942, Pius' assistant, the future Pope Paul VI, received an eyewitness report of incredible butchery of Jews in Warsaw. 1 month prior, Ukraine Archbishop Andrzej, I can't pronounce his name, had, see, I'm not really a Nazi. I don't even know how to speak German, had delivered a similar report informing the Pope of atrocities carried out in the Lviv ghetto, reports Haaretz, Offer, and Adoret. Soon after, the United States envoy to the Vatican asked if it could corroborate accounts of mass killings in Warsaw and Lviv. In response, Vatican Secretary of State Luigi Maglione reportedly stated, "I don't believe we have information that confirms the serious news in detail." While sifting through the papers, the researchers also found a memo from the Vatican staffer that warned against believing the reports, dismissing these accounts on the grounds that Jews easily exaggerated and Orientals, a reference to Archbishop Sheptitsky, are really not an example of honesty. So this just goes to show heads of religion, no matter how much you think of them, heads of state, presidents, that just deny things. And anyway, let's keep going. The memo was conspicuously absent from the 11-volume collection published by the Vatican in defense of Pius. Reputation reports Religion News Service. This is a key document that has been kept hidden from us because it is clearly anti-Semitic and shows why Pius VII did not speak out against the Holocaust. Wolf tells Catholic Weekly, Kirch and Leben, as quoted by Religious News Service. Under normal circumstances, papers covering Pius' papacy would have been under lock and key until 2028, or 70 years after the end of his tenure. I don't know. Didn't somebody else want 75 years? You know what? When you say 70 years, that means everyone's dead. There is no one to collaborate the truth or falsity of anything. That's just my take. But last year, at a gathering marking the 80th anniversary of Pius' election, Pope Francis announced the archives and pending opening, telling those gathered that the church is not afraid of history. Rather, she loves it. Speaking with Reuters, Philip Poliola, in February, Father Norbert Hoffman, the Vatican's top official in charge of religious relation with Jews, added, "I don't think researchers will find a smoking gun." Pius supporters, many whom, there's another one that just sealed. Supporters, many of whom have advocated for the Pope's canonization, point out that the Catholic Church saved thousands of Jews by hiding them in churches and monasteries across Italy, as well as the Vatican itself. Through acolytes argue that Pius' inaction and silence allowed these secret actions to continue. Critics cite the treatment of Jews living in Rome during World War II. As NPR Sylvia Polgolilia points out, a plaque standing just 800 yards from St. Peter's Square states on October 16, 1943, entire Jewish Roman families ripped from their homes by the Nazis were brought here and then dropped to extermination camps of more than 1,000 persons. Only 16 survived. Wolf says scholars are still in the early stages of determining context surrounding the Pope's actions. "We have to first check these newly available sources," he tells Kirch Leben. "If Pius VII comes out of this study of the sources looking better, that's wonderful. If he comes out looking worse, we have to accept that too." Due to the COVID-19, the Vatican plans to keep its archive closed until summer at the earliest. Still, says Wolf to DZ's Evelyn Finger, there are enough questions to keep the whole item busy. the whole team busy for 10 years. So if there's read more, I can put that in the description. So my point of doing this, besides waiting for the jars to seal, and as I've been chit-chatting along, oops, let me grab these out of here because I already heard 2 pop. You can hear these when these jars seal. It goes right. So let me grab these out. You gotta kind of drain that water off. And see, did you hear that pop?
You want to towel for those?
No, I'm good. Oops, didn't mind that hair. So in any event, and you know, this little towel that I put in the bottom, look, it didn't get burnt up, blah, blah, blah. You would only burn it up if you let all the water go out, right? Then you got stove fire. Hopefully you have insurance. Any event. So far,
Lots of insurance.
so far, 2 of these have already sealed just by sitting in there. Usually when they go down to room temperature, there you have it. And they just pop. So this, my friends, is Rebel canning. You don't need all the expensive equipment. You could just use a ladle and just pour it in. However, I do have some nifty little tools, right? And and this thing, it's under $5. This kind of just, it's your little funnel. But in any event, this is why I think that all hell is about to break loose. And look, you know, Kev, he really didn't like leftovers. I literally had to cook a fresh meal each and every night. He would not eat leftovers. So you know what I started doing? Hi, sweetheart. I see you, peacock. I would make like a chicken pot pie. He would have 1 piece, maybe 2, and that was it. You know, I actually canned chicken pot pie, right? You just got to put enough gravy in it. Besides zucchini and squash, and I haven't come across many other things yet that I found that really weren't good to can. The zucchini and squash, because of the way it's made up, it just turns to mush. So, oh, there goes another pop. And you can tell when your jars seal. Let me find the pot holder. If you're new to canning, right? So, these things are very hot. They've been boiling for 30 minutes. But how you tell that they sealed? See, there's usually a little nipple right here and it pops up. And this is also how you can tell if maybe the stuff went bad. Like maybe you didn't get it in a year's time. This will pop back up. But this is going to be good for a year on the shelf. I don't want to cram up my freezer with anything. Although we have solar power. We have a couple windmills too, right? We could run probably all 3. Well, we got 2 freezers and 1 refrigerator freezer. We could probably run all them. Not like, you know, we got alternative means for cooking. But when this is flat and you hear that click, it's sealed. I mean, really, if you want, I could, it's a little hot right now, but I could unscrew this lid and I can show you the way I pop the lids off is, hold on, I'm sure we have one. Ooh, hot. Where is it? And that little can opener with the round side.
an unsealed. It should be in the second drawer.
There's a lot in the second drawer. I found a slicer. I'm not gonna fuss with that. However, when you have that normal little can opener, you know, not the bottle opener, but the one that has a little sharp thing, that has a little round thing to do the bottles. If you take that and right on the very edge, you don't pop it like this straight on. You kind of do it a little even. And I've been able to reuse my flat part of the lid. So just, you know, something to know. I actually make brownies in a jar. I've made pineapple upside down cake. So there's some really great things that you can do. But they did it back then and we can do it now. And, you know, we've got food plants burning down. We got refineries mysteriously catching on fire. And you know what, guys? I don't think it's coincidence. I think that some people are being sent to set those places on fire. Can I prove it? No, it's just my opinion. So, in any event, if you guys want to see some other stuff, oh, the sunflower. So hold on. Yeah, well, hold on. Hey, Maury. Oof. There's that spider on it. In any event, so the one thing that people have a little issue when they're prepping is food for their pets. So we have 26 chickens. Well, Gidget passed away, guys. That little old soul, she made it here with me. She died 4 days after I got here. I'm just so glad she didn't die in the car. But I had 10 chickens, 3 cats, and a parrot. So Maury, although I always buy a little extra for her, Maury loves sunflower seeds. And these things, you know, well, I mean, the winds, they're very easy to seed. Like you just got to kind of pull at them like that, right? And dry them out. And that's it. It's kind of easy. You just kind of go like that. So I still want to do that video on mullein. There's some great benefits to that. See, just that easy. There's seeds just like that. And, you know, sunflowers are very healthy. They make sunflower oil. Not that I've ever used that. But they make all that kind of stuff. For my parrot, this is most definitely going to be food for her. Well, not this year but next year when we replant these seeds, you know, I don't know if you guys looked at the price of seeds lately, but oh my goodness. I mean, when I was down in Florida, over $4, it was like $4.69 to buy a pack of seeds at Tractor Supply. So
You better get your seeds now because they may not be available in the spring.
And Drop is saying you better get your seeds now because they may not be available in the spring. But usually what's planted here, we let a certain amount go to seed. So we have seeds for next year. And everything that we purchase is heirloom. And heirloom basically means it's 50 generations. So it's non-GMO. They don't have all that crap. We don't use pesticides. Maury, we use the buddy system. We do plant a lot of marigolds throughout the garden. You know, when you're planting tomatoes, you want to plant some garlic, some basil, and some marigolds. That'll take care of the little things in the bottom. Now, I have used Dawn dish detergent for some little pests that get on top. But Drop, do you have that chart for the buddy companion for the garden? Can you find that and give it to everyone? So in any event, in case seeds are unavailable, if you already have a garden, let some of that stuff. I had a whole sandwich bag stuffed of spinach seeds, right? I have yarrow. Herbs, don't overlook your herbs, because trust me, them beans and rice, if you don't ordinarily eat beans and rice, you're not going to like it. And it's going to be redundant. The way I've always prepped, I usually, if I go to the store, I need a bag of rice, I get 2 bags of rice. Okay. I don't like black beans and rice. Never did, never will. So I'm never, ever going to stock it. I could probably get by with, I don't know, baked beans and rice. But you buy what it is canned that you usually use. And I've been prepping since 2017. I had this very horrible feeling. Hold on, I need to put that down. I love the smell of sunflower. I just had this really bad feeling that something wasn't right in the universe. And then I saw paradise. And then I saw crops burn. And living on the East Coast, because of the hurricanes, I always had a full pantry. But then Kev must have thought I'd done lost my mind. Because literally one room in the house was just filled with canned goods. And I did it on very little. Now I can't get out of Walmart without at least $300. The prices have, they're just crazy. So when you used to be able to buy a can of vegetables for 39 cents, it's 89 to $1.39, and that might be an off-store brand. But if you grow your own vegetables like string beans, you can blanch them and you can can them, right? So this is going to give you food security. A lot of people can't afford to go out and buy a few extra cans. Now they might be able to skip a meal and save a little bit, but you can literally go into Walmart. You're probably not going to get heirloom seeds, but you can get non-GMO, and you can get those seeds on food stamps. How do I know? Because I did it, right? Most of my prepping, besides going to food banks, I've done, videos on that. I did on less than $200 a month. That's all I had. I fed 2 people, cooked a main meal, whether it was chicken breast, some noodles, and a vegetable, 7 days a week for 2 people. So you can do it. The Dollar General is, it's not the Dollar General. Dollar Tree is now the $1.25. And be careful, because some of the things you can get there, you might be able to go to Family Dollar or Dollar General. Let me show you something, right? I can eat rice and this barbecue sauce any day of the week. And you know what? For the most part, if you go to Family Dollar, it's $1. So you don't want to eat plain rice and, canned chicken. You want to spice it up. So just $1. And I did that 22.89 Preppers Challenge. What was that? 2018, 2019. So
Can I be on the video?
you want to, Drop wants to say something. Here you go, guys.
Hello. No, come over here.
No, you go ahead.
Well, no, you're fine. But remember the basketball hoops?
They can't see you.
They saw me. Remember the basketball hoops you saw over at Walmart yesterday? The hoop and the backboard for $10.
Mm-hmm.
They had 5 of them left. I found one down in the aisle. They were like what?
$225.
Something like that. You remember? I don't.
So when we have to go to town, it's every 2, 3, 4 weeks. It takes us a day. We left out of here 11 o'clock yesterday. We got home at 4:30. But while we were in Walmart, they had to be at least a 50-inch backboard for basketball hoop, right? A basketball hoop. Originally $225, $10. So I think all this crap that's been sitting in the harbors, all the shipping containers, yeah, well, guess what? They can't get rid of them. They can't give them away. A $225 product for $10. We ought to go back and buy them all because I don't know, maybe we could sell them to schools. You know what I'm saying? But I think you're going to find a lot of stuff. There's stuff still on the ships that are this season right now. So you're going to see a lot of these big companies.
Yep. And I just, be honest with you.
Here, you got to lean on the counter so they can see.
Oh, okay. I got to squat down about 2 feet. Right.
Yeah.
Here we go. More than 2 feet. They can't see you, but it's okay. But you better buy this stuff up when you can buy it cheap, because gold's not the only thing that's going to be valuable when this stuff is gone and not available. Okay? Get it, people? Now my knees will kill me. Sorry. I'm old and decrepit.
We're so old. We ain't 60 yet, but we're both 57. Peacock says, hi, drop. So be prepared if you got a little extra money and you can buy up something really cheap. Like, I don't know, those things like you could put in a gymnasium in a high school and you can make a profit on it. And there's going to be other things that are going to be so discounted. Now, however, computers, my computer 4 or 5 years ago was $469. And it was very, very good. Now I can't find anything. What was the memory? 364 gigabytes?
No.
Memory.
You're talking about the hard drive, but the memories, they can just find stuff with 8 gigabytes of RAM, DDR4. And it wasn't really a good deal. You can find better deals online. In fact, buying off these computers that have been used by a corporation for 2 years, they offload those onto an off-lease system. I used to buy some from Canada, from this guy in Canada. I used to buy them all the time, and I used to get a real good deal. Middle-of-the-road computer, used for office setting, wipe clean, you can do whatever you want with it. So,
but in any event, I browsed through Walmart because I got this computer at Walmart. They had nothing worth crap.
Hello and welcome to the mental health hotline. If you are obsessive,
My phone's ringing.
if you are codependent, ask someone to press 2 for you. If you have multiple personalities, press 3, 4, 5, 6. If you are paranoid, we know what you are and what you want. Stay on the line and we'll trace your call. If you're delusional, press 7 and your call will be transferred. Hello and welcome to the mental health hotline. If you are obsessive compulsive, press 1 repeatedly. If you are codependent, ask someone to press 2.
That's this month's ringtone, right? So I thought it was funny. But so guys, that's the show for today. I don't want to take up much more of your time. If there are some other things you'd like to see a video about, I'm trying to stay away from mostly politics. I still gotta slip just a teeny bit in, right? Because hey, I'm Murphy's Law. If someone ain't smacking me down, I just ain't living right, or I'm not doing it right. And by the way, I wonder where my favorite stalker is today. I kind of miss him. Maybe put him in too many times at timeouts. I don't know. But guys, God bless. I'm gonna put some out music so you guys can chat for a little bit. And thanks for coming. And I hope you learned something that's going to help you survive. So let me get you some out music going. Yep, tuna. Chosen by me. Canning, staying alive. Much love all. God bless. Stay safe. Pray up and prop up.